Hola a todos, aquí la parte 9 ya de Calos Calutus. Lo dejamos aquí en pleno episodio 7 de este juego donde teníamos que investigar el puzzle de la clave de esta caja fuerte que realmente se me ha hecho bastante complicado, la verdad. Pero he estado descubriendo cómo cuáles son los números para abrir la caja fuerte y ver qué hay detrás de eso, que parece ser que es un libro que hay detrás, que vimos la visión. Y bueno, sí era importante el tema de los audios acá, de, bueno, como dice ahí, cilindro de Drake, escucharlos bien, que te daba pista para ver cuál es la clave de la caja fuerte. Por ejemplo, escuchamos este primero.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Muy bien, habla de algo divino, algo de oro, algo así. Y algo que sí mi cabeza me estaba dando vuelta que era este, pero no descubría cuál
The
era la clave.
chalice of knowledge.
Por eso que el personaje, nuestro detective, tomaba la copa esto y, y, y bueno, no sabía exactamente cuál era, para serle honesto. En el sentido de lo que voy que... a ver, ¿cómo lo explico? Lo vuelvo a repetir. Tenía sospecha de que este podría ser uno de los el tema de la caja fuerte para encontrar la clave, ¿verdad? Pero, pero no, después como vieron en el video anterior, me estaba dando vuelta y vuelta y vuelta, y donde aquí había tantos libros que yo dije, ya, uno de estos libros debe ser uno de ellos, que ya encontré uno, los otros dos del audio, del primero y el segundo, puede ser uno de estos libros. Porque hay tantos libros acá que me distrajo. Y también, súmale también
Another
los de...
volume by Arkham
Tienen números
Editions.
romanos. Donde dice volumen 2 por ejemplo,
Arkham
este
Editions.
volumen
Never heard of
7.
them.
Creía que era uno de estos dos que me faltaban. Yo ya me encontré uno de esos ya, ¿verdad? Que es
How
este.
many volumes are there in this collection?
Que es del audio... El tercer audio, si no me equivoco, de Drake. Y bueno, de ahí ya me compliqué solo nomás. Pero en fin, la cosa es que el primer audio,
The
esta copa.
chalice of knowledge.
Habla de esta copa, una copa aspecto muy antiguo, parece hecha de oro y está decorado con auténtica piedra preciosa, conformada con algún motivo concreto de rubí y zafiro. Bien, y he estado ahí investigando obviamente por internet que, bueno, aunque yo hubiera sabido que era la copa del primer audio que escuchamos, no sabía cuál contar, cuál de estos dos contar, o de estos tres, porque está el azul también. Y bueno, según lo que investigué, es que el color que tengo que encontrar yo es rojo. Que estaría haciendo ahí 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y son 5. Significa que uno de esas claves es el número 5. Ahora segundo, que también que creía que era uno de esos libros, no es así. Y escuchémoslo primero.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods.
Se refiere al
Let those of
ajedrez.
us who are still standing protect our white queen from their dark soldiers.
Se
I
refiere...
see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
Y ese ya se refiere al ajedrez, ¿verdad? Que tenemos que contar los blancos, ya que como se dan cuenta el ajedrez, el blanco está la reina, está sola, entre comillas sola. Y tenemos dos más, que es caballo y el otro el peón, ¿verdad? Que ese teníamos que contar, son tres, claramente. O sea, por ahora llevamos dos claves ya, dos de tres, que estaría siendo el 5 y el 3. Lo de la copa era más complejo, ¿eh? Lo del ajedrez creo que de puro idiota nomás lo descubrí bien. De puro tonto nomás. Bueno, y el último. El tercero que ya tenía claro en el anterior video.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Perdón. Que ya, claramente se refiere a un libro que tenemos acá. Y se refiere al número 9. Dice claramente que este es más fácil.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
De la antología de Arkham, volumen 9, a Sarford y otros horrores, ¿verdad? Que es el número 9. Entonces tenemos los tres claves, que estaría siendo el número espera, el número 5, el otro 3 y el otro el 9. Y ahí está. Muy bien, terminamos con el capítulo 7 y bueno, eso era todo, era el último que faltaba del capítulo 7. Instituto Riverside. En la librería sin nombre, Pierce sigue la pista de un intento de robo frustrado y descubre que Charlie Hawkins es responsable del delito. Pierce abre la caja fuerte del librero y encuentra lo que este y Sarah Hawkins habían escondido, un libro escuadernado en pie humana que parece llamar el detective. Cuando lo abre, su mente proyecta a otro cuerpo.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
What can you tell me about him?
He was highly agitated an hour ago. We were about to tie him down when he fell asleep. 10 minutes ago, he curled up into a fetal position. I thought he was waking up, but no.
What are his symptoms?
His temperature has been going down, his skin losing its color, his body rigid. I closed his eyes myself. They were glassing over. I didn't want them to dry out, and I couldn't bear to look at the expression on his face.
You did well. Don't worry. Let's stay professional, if you will. Show me his file.
That's not possible.
Don't tell me Dr. Fuller has taken this file as well. We need it.
That's why I called you. This man's ailment has been hidden from us.
Come on now. What was he treated for?
An intoxication, I was told. After inhaling chemicals.
I don't recognize him. Did he just arrive on the island?
He said he worked on the docks, but not with Captain Fitzroy. I think he works for Ms. Baker.
Who?
You know, the woman at the head of their gang. They call her Cat.
Oh, I see.
Do you have other questions?
That'll do for the time being.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Dr. Fuller, please.
No, don't.
I know what you fear, but this man is dying.
Marie, I'm begging you. He'll hold me accountable if you bother him. Perhaps you could examine him yourself first. I'll do my best to assist.
Very well. I'll examine him.
Examinar al paciente moribundo.
Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky. 30-year-old subject, severe hypothermia, erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums, necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
Parece ser que iba a hacerle un ritual. Puede ser.
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth.
Se conocen ya.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients. Provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
His limbs? His body temperature? I don't know what experiments you've undertaken, but this is going too far.
Oh, I sense some excitement beneath your indignation. Could it be you wish to join me in my scientific endeavors?
You are a brilliant physician, Dr. Fuller, but this man has the attributes of Some kind of animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
I disapprove of Fuller's methods, but his treatments have saved more lives than I can count.
And Mr. Blake? You said yourself he was dying.
I don't know what to think for now. What I'm sure of is that Fuller is hiding something from us, and I need to know what that is before I take a chance exposing him.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep Mum.
Nuevo objetivo. Vale, estamos con esta doctora, Nuestro detective, ¿dónde estará? Por cierto. Bueno. A ver. Inventario. Conocimiento. Ah, vale. Eso fue lo último que tomé.
An unknown medicine. Judging by the other ones, it causes heavy side effects.
Tenemos que averiguar qué hacían con este hombre.
This place draws you in and never lets you go.
¿Esto es un flashback o la actualidad? ¿Dónde está esta doctora ahora?
Doctor, please. My chest. Oh.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation. Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands.
Atiéndalo a él, por favor.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
What did you see there?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back?
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out. I'll just sleep a bit more.
Duerma, descanse. Hey,
Mrs. Sanders?
la señora Sanders. Qué sorpresa.
She recently came back from the surgical block. She's stable. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable. But Fuller was able to save her kidney. What is the boiler room key doing here? The key to the boiler room. Not where I expected to find it.
No puedo tomarlo.
Intoxication from breathing organic vapors. Another insomniac. I should find the cause for such a widespread trouble.
Muchos pacientes acá, muchísimos.
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination. He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling. His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
You did good work. The tranquilizer is kicked in. Now you can disinfect and bandage his wounds.
Thank you, Doctor. And as to his weight loss?
I'll prescribe an antifungal treatment for his dysgeusia. In the meantime, feed him intravenously.
It'll be done.
Muy bien. No sé si ir para allá o para allá. Pero tenemos que ir a la consulta del otro doctor.
It's a quiet little town. Days go by, steady as ever. I wanted more for myself, but...
Está esperando a alguien, claramente.
I don't get why they have us waiting so long. Almost no patients here.
Hey,
Ethan,
Marie,
what are you doing here?
I'm waiting for my medication, of course. Why?
Tell me your symptoms.
I have headaches. And I can't sleep.
Do you suffer from insomnia?
No. Look, I don't want you to laugh at me.
Ethan, if you don't trust me, then who?
I have nightmares. They keep me awake every night. It seems stupid, I know, but they're terrible.
Actually, you're not the only one.
No. No one has ever seen the things I see. It's like I'm turning mad.
So many people have this affliction. It's like an epidemic.
Do you think it might be related to Fuller's work?
I don't know yet, but I will figure all this out. Everyone in Darkwater is suffering from nightmares.
Really?
We don't have any medication left.
Oh, there's no excuse then. I should let you work.
Take care, Ethan.
You too, Marie.
todos que viven en esa isla están teniendo esas pesadillas extrañas.
Is everything all right, Ethan?
Yeah, I know I should go.
I will work until late.
Oh, all right.
Where did my fiancée go? I hope those nutcases will stop burdening her with work.
Vaya.
Dr. Colden. Do you want something? I think that you're needed in Block B, Doctor.
Pabellón B.
Dr. Colden, we need you at once in Dormitory B.
What is the problem?
Mr. Evans seems to be having trouble with his IV.
I've done an exam. Deborah is looking after him.
And the family of Mrs. Harding is asking to see her medical file.
I'll never understand why it's so hard to see patients' files around here.
Rules are rules. See, with Dr. Fuller, he's in charge. Anyhow, they're still waiting, and I don't think they'll leave until they get what they want.
Understood. Anything else?
As a matter of fact, yes. A man has been brought up from the basement.
I saw him, yes. It's always the same thing. They bring them up, without any explanation, with a multitude of self-inflicted injuries. We take care of the wounds, and then they leave. Each time, I feel like I'm sending them back to hell.
Their affliction is not our responsibility. You cannot save everybody, Doctor.
In theory, this is where we hang the key to the boiler room. In theory, this is where we hang the key to the boiler room.
Tengo que buscar la llave. Vamos por acá, a ver.
Sorry, but nobody can take anything until I finish the inventory.
Vale.
Please, the fewer interruptions there are, the faster I'll be finished.
Vale. Lo dejo tranquilo. Ya simplemente me están esperando. O están esperando a alguien. Aquí está.
I don't have any business in the boiler room.
Este es pabellón. Administración. Este como un baño. No un baño. Manual de referencia de la ciencia médica. Esta obra en modo diccionario recoge toda la ciencia médica que se conoce y practica en el mundo moderno. Ordenadas alfabéticamente, para cada una de las entradas se incluyen las principales autoridades de otra y de referencia.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do.
Vale.
Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
I will tell him, nonetheless.
Tengo que distraerla.
Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
Tengo que distraerla.
Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody but rest that I...
Vale, dice lo mismo, así que vamos a saltar ahí nomás. Hay que distraerla. Me imagino que la puerta principal del psiquiatra donde está ese doctor no está cerrado. ¿Por qué no está él? Básicamente. No, entremos acá igual. O es... Sí, mismo lugar. Baño de hombres.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
Elizabeth? You all right? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself. And the water was once again shut off this morning. I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak. Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled the problem.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor. Everything all right, Dr. Colden?
All is well, Elizabeth, thank you. I was making sure the water wasn't cut off yet again.
Thank God, no. The water's running. I have no desire to call Donovan for help.
Come now. Don't let that witch sap your morale.
I'm trying, Doctor. I'm trying. It's just that sometimes I imagine she shuts down the water herself, just for the pleasure of harassing me.
Her time is much too precious for these kind of petty games. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor. Everything all right, Dr. Cole?
All is well.
Thank God.
Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
Vale.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
Corta el agua. Vale. Bueno, esto es un baño. O sea, esas eran nuestras distracciones.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
Vale. No sé si llevo a todos los lugares. Diría que no.
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the schedule. She's alone in the bathroom again. And she still says nothing to that old witch Donovan?
Oh, listen to the way you talk, you naughty girl. And the answer is no. You can imagine that she doesn't dare say a thing. That silly goose lets herself be trodden on.
Oh well, at least we won't have to clean for a while.
And just wait and see the next time the water's cut off. It's a real show.
Ay, se me escapa justo ella. Le está hablando de la mujer que está en el baño ahora.
Watch out for the water, Doctor.
Vale. La medicina es la ciencia secreta. Esta interesantísima obra dirigida a un público amplio demuestra hasta qué punto ha influido la ciencia alternativa en la medicina moderna. El magnetismo, los remedios tradicionales, la acupuntura china, la hipnosis, la medicina con hierbas, la quimia y muchas otras contribuyó en cierta medida en el crecimiento de la disciplina al comienzo de este siglo. La cocina.
Patients and hospital personnel eat the same food.
Mira. Comen exactamente lo mismo.
Gentlemen, may I help you?
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding. She came in with a kidney problem, but we haven't heard anything since.
I've tended to her, and I have good news. Her blood analysis is reassuring. Her kidneys are as new.
Are you talking about the same person? This is miraculous.
She's still recovering, but you may speak to her upon her awakening.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. We'll wait for her to wake up. We've been here since this morning, so it won't make a difference.
Vale.
Thank you again, Doctor.
Muy bien. Justo la había revisado a ella. Ya lo está atendiendo ella. Ya, entonces... Vale, lo estamos dando la misma vuelta. Voy donde está esa mujer que estaba en el baño lavando. Y... distraerlos. A la doctora más que nada. ¿A dónde está eso? Sí. Era... acá, sí. Vamos a seguir esa tubería. Que está por allá. Está por aquí adentro.
The door to the boiler room is locked. Where did I see that key? Ah, yes. The office in Block B.
Ay, no, yo ni me acuerdo. Creo que era aquí. No. Donde estábamos de principio parece, ¿verdad? Era aquí, porque este es el único pabellón, si no me equivoco. Ahí está. Muy bien. Espera un segundo. Ya.
The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait.
Muy bien. Está por allá. Acá. Vale.
I can't shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool.
Ay, qué bien. Ahora ese tema de la herramienta, ¿dónde puede estar? Ay, doctora, doctora. Herramienta, herramienta. ¿Dónde puede estar esa herramienta?
She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
¿Dónde puede estar? Ok, ya el tema de la herramienta. ¿Qué herramienta necesita exactamente?
Hay fever. What's he doing here?
No sé por dónde partir.
He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Aquí donde encontré la llave. ¿Dónde puede estar? No sé qué herramienta necesita.
It's a quiet little town. Days go by, steady as
There's
ever.
no way I'm
wanted
leaving
more
until
for
I find what
myself.
Fuller is hiding.
Espera. Él estaba limpiando. Ay, ¿dónde estaba limpiando delante? Aquí está. Llave inglesa, perfecto. Sí, sí, estaba limpiando ahí. Vale. Aquí está. Ahora sí.
I feel guilty about Elizabeth, but I need the diversion.
Muy bien. Creo que ahora tengo que hablar con Elizabeth. Por el tema del agua. Sí, aquí está ella.
Dr. Colden, might there be a problem with the water?
I was about to mention it. It seems it's been cut off yet again.
I can't take this, Marie. I feel I'm gonna burst.
It's not your fault if we have defective plumbing.
And yet, I'm the one who gets punished because I'm gonna have to square off with that annoying old witch. Courage, Elizabeth. Here we go. And hold your tongue this time.
Vale, tengo que acompañarla para que hable con ella. Muy bien. Vaya donde ella.
Mrs. Donovan?
I'm busy. Elizabeth, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. But it's about the water.
What now?
It's off. It's not my fault.
Nothing is ever your fault. I told you to control the flow, even if I know it's not your strong point.
I've apologized 1,000 times.
I haven't counted that many, but then unlike you, I don't have time to keep track.
Please, Mrs. Donovan. I'm grateful to you for having kept me on despite that incident. I just need the water to be put back on. Otherwise, the bathroom will quickly become a nest of germs.
Oh, very well. I'll finish what I'm doing, and then I'll fix your blunders once more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Out of my sight, go chatter with your colleagues. That's what you do best.
¿Funcionó o no? Ahí donde está la salida aquí. Porque ella sigue ahí, pues.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
Entonces, ¿cómo voy a pasar? A ver, ¿y si paso así nomás, carepalo? Porque no podemos hablar con ella. Ella sigue ocupada. ¿Y si voy, me va a dejar o no? Ah. Claro. No, pues es aquí. Ella estaba aquí antes.
At last. The missing files must be hidden here.
Me había confundido, Vale. Lo más obvio es que debería estar acá. No.
Something is wrong with these masts. It's some sort of puzzle. I've unlocked something. Patient files. I was right.
Vale, eso fue de pura suerte, ¿eh? Fue de pura suerte eso. Vamos a ver si encuentro otra cosa, por si las moscas. No, sí.
The Stendhal syndrome. Of course. This is where Fuller found his diagnosis for Francis Sanders.
Un estudio sobre el síndrome de Stendhal, una afección psicológica especialmente poco frecuente que provoca problemas mentales por exposición a las obras de artes. La la. Muy bien. Este cilindro estaba escondido en el despacho de Fuller. El registro de impresiones sobre una de las muchas sesiones de psicoanálisis a las que sometió a Sarah Hawkins. Es una entrevista. ¿Podemos escucharla de aquí?
Conclusions. Session number 17. Patient? Sarah Hawkins. The patient appears to have finally accepted the illusory nature of what she calls the mythos. It goes without saying that these peculiar delusions are the price that comes with her exceptional gifts.
Yo estaba quieto, ¿eh?
Why does Dr. Fuller write psychological reports about Sarah Hawkins?
At first, I presumed that her blood was the key. But I found nothing to explain Mrs. Hawkins' abilities.
The poor souls downstairs are not Fuller's only subjects.
Then James came, irate that Charles was keeping secrets from him. I presume that he will try to break into the basement sooner or later. I am prepared.
Vale, hay algo oculto que quiero investigar qué es. Mira esto.
Why is Ethan on medication?
¿Hay más cosas oculto? ¿Qué otra cosa?
This finger belonged to a woman. Why keep it here?
¿Es en serio?
Hawkins, Fitzroy, and Fuller. What is the connection between these three?
It is fortunate that I had the presence of mind to set the morgue in the basement. When all the fuss about the Hawkins incident finally comes to an end, I will dispose of her belongings. In the meantime, they must remain hidden in plain sight.
¿Quién será ese paciente?
Of course. Sarah Hawkins is the connection.
Zapato parcialmente quemado. Parece ser que perteneció a Sarah Hawkins.
I must go back to the basement.
Vaya.
I should go another way.
Ahora sí aquí atrás. Que creo que es acá, ¿o no? Sí. Es por acá. Aquí antes no podía entrar. ¿Cómo se conecta con todo y sobre todo con Sara? ¿Esto es sangre? Bueno, 50 minutos, ¿eh? No me he dado cuenta cuánto tiempo llevo. Realmente ha sido bastante interesante este capítulo, ¿eh? Con la doctora. Y bueno, con el doctor Fioret, que bueno, que tuvo ahí cierto contacto, por decirlo así, con Sarah Hawkins. Pero bueno, vamos a ver qué pasa más adelante, así que me voy a despedir. Like, comenta, suscríbete a la campanita y lo veremos en el siguiente video. Chao.